Hi, welcome into this Lendingtree review where I'm Michael from Viral Home-Based Pursuits and Viral Funding Solutions. We'll be going in depth to show you all there is to know about this financial loan platform. Is it legitimate? Is it worth your time? Pros and cons, alternatives, and so much more so you can finally power forward. Now, let's get right into it. Is it legit? Yes, they've been around for 20 plus years, so they're doing something right. Now, are they the best solution for you? That's another question to answer, and I'm going to get right into that. Now, what Lendingtree is an online marketplace, sort of like a Fundera or a Lendio, where they connect you with providers, with these lenders. So what these lenders are doing is they're paying Lendingtree a fee, and they're saying, hey, can we partner with you, or can you advertise this on your platform so we can get more people coming to us? And this is what Lendingtree allows them to do for a price. So not necessarily are you getting the best lenders, the best program. So you have to be careful of that. That's only one thing. And it's like when somebody's bidding, right? They want to get themselves in front of you. They're going to leverage the Lendingtree brand, or they're going to get in front of them because they know it's a faster route and they know people are comparing different rates, different programs. And so when you're shopping around, they're going to appear right in front of you, right? You're not going to look at one platform and say, okay, I'm going to go and start an application with them. It usually takes many times for you, right? So that's what they are. So you have to be careful when you have an account with them. You can get started for free. Just answer a few simple questions. And on the back office, once you go through a bit of the Lendingtree like process of trying to figure out what the best loan is for you, you'll get your comparisons, and you'll see it in your back office, and it'll show you, okay, look, this based on what you've answered, this is the type of program that would benefit you, and there are a few other ones, and then you can go from there to another one. So I'm going to show you a little bit about that. I'm also going to get a little bit in depth into the business loan side of things, because on this channel we speak a lot of alternative lending. So I'll show you how that works. Now, that's one thing to be careful about. Two, they do hard credit pulls, those hard credit checks. And this is where they will pass the information from you down to the three credit bureaus. We're talking about Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So they'll pull those three and they'll collect that information, Dun and Bradstreet and so forth. And the bad thing about it is it can affect your credit score. It can drop it down. And we're going to go through a couple of reviews of where that's happened to people. So you have to be careful of that. And it's this shotgun approach, especially with the business loan side of things, but it can happen anywhere, where you don't go through a soft credit check, but you go through a hard credit pull. And that information is then shotgunned or dispersed to different lenders. So these lenders now have your information, they're bidding for it, they want it, they're doing these checks without you even knowing it. And so that's what you got to be careful about. Now, what they do provide are home loans, personal loans, student loans, debt relief, free credit score, and insurance. And before I get into any of that, the soft credit pull side of things, it's much better because you don't get, if there's something wrong with your three credit bureaus, if they see you have low credit, that can affect it. And even if it is a good credit score, and even an excellent one, it could affect it as well. And those two things affect, do you get a higher interest rate? Is it lower? Higher APRs, factor rates, etc. So if you have a better credit score, good to excellent, you can expect a lesser of an interest rate or whatever type of rate it's going off of. But if you're somebody who does not want to get affected by any of that, and you want an alternative specifically for the business loan side of things, and you'd like to learn how to get up to 2 million incredibly fast, approval within a day, funds within 1 to 5 days, depending on your circumstances, and even get up to 25,000 same day instant approval with no hard credit checks, no collateral to put in, and even no interest rates. That's right, we calculate on total payback. Look down below in the description to learn more about that program I have for you with minimum qualifications. Now, before I go into all of them, how does it work? One, you answer a few questions, as you can see here on the right side. Step two, shop and compare. This is the part where you are going to be brought these results at the end of this questionnaire you go through. You're going to be asked business questions, personal questions, and at the end of it, you're going to be given these different accounts to look at. Step 3, make the best loan win. Make loan shopping easy. You can compare offers side by side, talk with loan officers to haggle, or in many cases, just apply online. Choose the loan that works best for you. Another thing that I dislike about Lendingtree is that there are those hidden fees. You have to be careful with it, especially when you're going through them, what you can get charged for. You can get higher APRs, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a moment. But Money Rescue Center here, mortgage rate payment calculator, ratings and reviews, and then the credit score. And then how to get the most from your money. What does Lendingtree do? As you can see here, they're going to get you the best possible loan in these different types. So let me go over here to loans and go to business. Now, if you're wondering about different alternatives for all the other ones, I'll leave more information of that down below. But for the most part, they'll help you compare rates. So in a way, it's okay to go through it and see what results you do get. Now, it depends on if you want to continue with them. It's a whole different thing. So compare your financing options. Sole proprietor, you have partnership, LLC, S Corp, C Corp. Come down here. And just a little bit about who they would work with. You have lenders like SmartBiz, 120 to 300 months loan amounts. So if we're talking about things like SBAs and things like that, consider credit score 650 to 675 for that. So the thing with Lendingtree is they're going to pair you up with lenders who have more of a fair to good and excellent range. So if you're somebody who falls like below the 500s or just gets into the 500s, it could help for you, but it may not be the best solution. And if you're somebody who has like a 450 plus and you want to get up to 25,000 same-day instant approval funding with just 5,000 plus monthly revenue and sales coming in within the last 30 months, then I highly encourage you to check out my #1 recommendation. I'll leave that down below in the description. There will be a video for you to watch. Now, loan terms for you have on deck as well. It's a great solution to go with. 3 to 24 months, 5,000 to 250,000, as low as 35% APR, credit scores of 600. You have Funding Circle, which is adequate. 60 months, 25 to 500,000, 4.99% to 19.49% of APR. You need a 660 FICO credit score, at least from there. SBG funding, you can see the amount here. We're going to kind of go through this fast. Credibly works well, up to 400,000. Factor rate starting at 1.15. And then Takeover, and then Elevation and Reliant funding. So for the most part, they're not bad lending solutions. These are good. These are fair, good, and excellent. So on deck being one of those that's on the above from this list here. There are a few other ones that do well, but be careful, because this is not just everybody they deal with. They have many different ones who are bidding, and so you don't always get the best solution. So you have to be careful of that. SBA loans, you see here with SmartBiz, on deck, Funding Circle, and the list goes down on, and they'll give you an option to look for that. And then you have a little calculator here to see how much you can estimate you'll be able to borrow. And when they ask you questions like annual revenue and last month's deposits, just know that this is a cash flow loan. So much like a cash advance, which is something that I recommend, and that's how you can get up to 25,000 same-day instant approval with a soft pull. We don't report it to the 3 credit bureaus. It doesn't affect your credit score. There are no hidden fees, unlike what you'll see with Lendingtree and a few other providers. Again, that alternative is down below in the description, so you can learn more about them. But this is a cash flow type of business loan, whether it is short or long-term. We're looking at what are your cash flow deposits? In other words, how much is being deposited in your business checking account? We want you to have a business checking account and have your online banking set up. Why? Because 1, it shows legitimacy. And 2, you're not trying to hide something, and it's not being pushed into a personal account. We want to know that you are actually operating underneath the right guidelines for our lenders to be able to approve you. We want to know what's happening in your business accounts. Right? It's different than personal. So make sure, if you don't have one already, get started with it. I'll leave information down below how you can get one and so forth. But that's why you're being asked for last month's deposits, because we look at least 3 months beforehand up to 12 months, 6 and then 12 months. We kind of do that spread if need be, because we want to track to see what's happening, what's the projection like moving forward. That's why we look at those as well. And we project to see what your future sales will be. In a way, we don't always know that, but depending on the type of loan, I know this happens with the merchant cash advance. They're taking a percentage of your future credit and debit card receivables. But my number one recommendation program where you don't have to deal with a traditional MCA is down below in the description again, where you can get up to 2 million and even up to 25,000 same day instant approval. You estimate your estimated credit score. Why are credit scores, and especially FICO, important to know about? If this is your first time or you're still questioning that, we want to know if you're able to pay off just personal loans. What's your bills like from month to month? Are you able to make the payment on time? What's transferring over to the next month? What couldn't you pay? How much are you adding on to your credit score? And what's happening all there? We want to know you're sufficient enough at the end of the day to be able to pay off the loan, be able to give the lenders back their money. That's what they want to know. And so when we look at credit scores in general, we're looking at A to C paper lenders and A to C paper files, meaning, and not to go too into depth on this, but we want to see, okay, if you meet a certain revenue, what is the FICO score underneath that? And how much will you be estimating on paying back? So if you have, let's say, for example, you're doing 20,000 plus per month in sales within the last 3 months and you have a 700 plus FICO credit score, then you can expect a lower interest rate. You can expect a lower APR, factor rate. Maybe it's just calculated on total payback. So that's how we look at it. And we get into the B and C paper. We look at maybe less revenue, less FICO scores, and then it's considered more of a risk, higher risk to take on. So your estimated payback amount will be more. That interest rate can go higher, but you don't need to know all that. That's for information for me to know. It's just giving you a little bit of background there. Is it home-based, yes or no? You may be able to borrow between this much and this much. It'll show you that. So you can go through that calculator if need be. Check your credit worthiness. You can see the ranges there. Excellent, very good, good, fair, poor. Check your credit worthiness here, right? And then you can go here to see your free credit score and how it's all explained. Let's go back now. What you need to apply for a small business loan. So you'll need a profit and loss statement, cash flow statement, a balance sheet, a business plan, and business and personal taxes. So there are some, not all types of business loans will require to go all the way back to a certain amount of taxes or ask for those at all. But we want to see credibility. We want to see those types of financials, what are happening annually, and just to look into the account and make sure everything matches and our projections for you moving forward. So here's a little checklist: 2 to 3 years of personal and business tax returns, recent balance sheet, and you have a little bit there you can look at. What do they look for? What do lenders are looking for in this? Time in business, your credit score, your cash flow, collateral, if need be, secured versus unsecured. If you want an unsecured business loan and you don't want to be able to put any kind of real estate slash collateral, your assets, give up your home, right? That's not something you have to do. Traditionally, like most business loans, you go to banks and stuff like that, you're asked to put down collateral. This is where you don't need to. These are unsecured. You're not having to worry about any of that, but it is considered, but you do have to look at it as, okay, if you don't put any collateral in, then I have to put some skin in the game with interest rates, or if there are none, what is the total payback amount? So debt to equity ratio, the working capital, and then the final step, you would choose your loan, and so forth. So you have that information in here to go ahead and check through. The methodology, small business loan FAQs, how do they work? Which ones are available? Several types are available. How do they work? Business owners can take small business loans between $5,000 to $500,000 or more to finance expenses like payroll, inventory, equipment, and other costs. Are they bad for credit? We don't got to go through that right now. But you can see the different types. We have personal loans. We go over here. What interest rates should you expect? Give that a second here to load. So 760, average best offered APR, 8.83%, very good, 12.95%. So the lower in credit you get, the higher the APR. And that's a thing that you'll see all across the board with most types of lending platforms. But Lendingtree just happens to have one of the higher ones that I'm seeing. So top lenders and personal loan rates in 2021, you get things like Best Egg, Freedom Plus, Lending Club, Lending Point, Lightstream, Marcus by Goldman Sachs, One Main Financial, Prosper Payoff, Sophie, and Upstart. So some of these are very well. But like I said, be careful. There's this shotgun approach where it can hurt your credit score with these hard credit checks, and you're not getting always the best lenders, but there's a mix of them that are fair, good, and even great. So just you can look through some of those details right there just to review the company, just so you know what you're getting yourself into. And like, again, if I don't have it at the moment, I'll have more information about personal loans and so forth moving forward. Again, I can't cover everything in this video. I'd be here for a while. But as you can see, you do everything from student loans, debt relief, credit score, insurance, and that list will go on and on, as you can see here. So credit cards, auto, financial help, if you need it, it's there. And now let me go through some quick reviews and then we'll round up this video. So there are contradicting reviews. You see them on the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. I contact Lendingtree because I thought there were a trustworthy source for current applicant referrals to directly a financial lender. But after filing 2 separate requests with Lendingtree, webpage forms before COVID-19 exist, in which infected all business activity with the consumer. Okay, so what's happening here? It's already been cramped into something that you just kind of have to know that there are some people who don't really understand the process, so they'll complain. And there are people who didn't take the time to really understand how the process works and what they were getting themselves into. And that seems to be the case with some of these reviews on the Better Business Bureau, not all of them. Some of them are righteous and rightful to say, okay, well, they were giving my information off to someone else. I didn't know who this company was. I was getting spammed. And that's what happens. You'll get spammed by different companies out there because they're all bidding for your information. Right? Lendingtree has it. They're dispersing that information to the people who've paid to play on their platform. And now that you're getting all those different results for the different rates, now these people are going to contact you, whether you gave them their information or not, your information or not. They have it on hand because you gave it off to Lendingtree. And you're going to be getting called, text, emailed. Hey, are you still in the market for this and that? And it can be a hard sell once you're on the phone call with people and you're really unsure what to do. So really take your time. And so some of these are rightful, like I said, again, unsatisfaction. I use Lendingtree's mortgage calculator tool. That's all I did. They have called me upwards of 100 times. They text me constantly. They are harassing me. I was approved for a loan and I have not received payment. 2 people have been helping me, one by name of can't say who's supposed to be an account manager. I called it back on this date. No one's been picking up. So the help is very minimal and basic. You'd see this along with other types of online marketplace providers. Not all, but it's very common when you have to wait time to get through customer support, especially when you have an account open with someone. The experience was great. You see this on Trustpilot. Thank you for all your help. Would recommend you guys to anyone. Fast and detailed service, no hassles. I picked up my terms and received a follow-up phone call to confirm everything. I would highly recommend. You are still offering to give me a loan and have not just closed the door on me because I can set up my bank. So you have to take this with a grain of salt. When will I know? So some people are still waiting. So some of these reviews are controversial. Lovely, but needs funds directly to myself. Never received a response. There is again another one. Extremely best experience at its best. That doesn't make sense that they're rating it low. And so let's go down a bit here and go to the 3% of average. I like to look in the middle. This way it shows me, it's kind of like when you go on Amazon and you want to learn about a new book and you want to see the reviews on them. Go to the 3, go to like what is good or what is average, because that'll give you a lot more information. It's not just the above average ones. Experience with the application was too drawn out as it took several days with very little correspondence for your decision compared to the other existing companies, some who are also affiliated with Lendingtree. So that's another thing that I wanted to mention, and I already had it here, but I just didn't say it right away, is the application process. It can be dragged out. You're applying with Lendingtree, you're trying to get different offers, and then you got to go to a different company to see what they have, and then those companies have a dragged out way, and then your funds don't get deposited within weeks. Some of them may be days, but you're looking at weeks at some points. I'm still waiting patiently. sent us to another company to do our loan through, and they were great. It wasn't for Lendingtree, would have. So it's kind of controversial what people are putting here. That would qualify more as a good. Went through the whole info process, and the site says no loans available. However, I later received an email that no preliminary rates can be provided if credit accounts are frozen. So clearly they run inquiries just to give an estimated loan rate. Okay, so that is in that. Do not use them if you value your credit score. I had a perfect credit score until I used Lendingtree. For one loan to refinance my car, they caused me to have 5 credit inquiries for one loan, and then couldn't even give me a lower rate due to this car being in a different state. I rent in Florida quite often, so I bought a car for when I fly down. I called to straighten out this, give me a number to deal with, fight where they could. There's just haven't handled it immediately. Now I am the one who has to deal with the aggravation to their erroneous mistake, where I live with a lower credit score for 2 years, 0 stars if I could. I have tried to block this their own phone number. It's the worst way to check on rates, and now I can't stop these calls for weeks. So you're seeing what's happening here, and these are real reviews. You're seeing the good ones who more or less you might see it from they might be marketers trying to from their own company, trying to bring them up, or employees. That's something to be careful about. So don't trust all of that. Now, one thing I do want to end this video with, if you haven't picked up my free 6-step pre-approval lending checklist, that will show you how to step-by-step understand what you need to know before you walk into an application and finally get approved without wasting days, weeks, months, years getting declined time and time again, having to sit on your couch with this look upon your face and your thoughts, will I ever get approved? This is the end. It won't work for me. This will help you save all that time and finally help you with that process. Gives you a lot of bonus content over the years of helping many small businesses grow, expand, get out of a tight pinch, and even build. So make sure to pick that up. It'll be down below in the description. You can also look for a contact form if you want to learn more. Make sure to fill all this out. This is legitimate. I won't take this and it won't hurt your credit score. I'm just wondering what you have so that when I email you or in a text or maybe it's a phone call, that I have the right information that I can base this on, and I can give you the right quotes so that when it's processed through our underwriting team on our lenders, you are given the best chance of getting approved. So please, if you're going to use this contact form, fill it out. Let me know, especially the monthly sales. There's their funding amount requesting, what is the use of funds for, and any additional notes and all the rest of the information in there. So that'll be down below again here. You can go ahead and check that out, as well as a few other details like how you can get up to $25,000 same-day instant approval funding for business loans, up to $2 million incredibly fast, soft pulls, no collateral to put down, and even no interest rates. And to learn all about that, again, videos down below, more resources there. Hopefully you got a lot out of this Lendingtree video. You understand now that they do hard credit pulls, they disperse, they do the shotgun approach. With these hard credit checks, they send them out to different lenders. They'll check through the 3 credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. It goes through Dun & Bradstreet, and it goes through all these different types of loans, not just business loans. And it's this online marketplace that has been around for some time, so they're doing something right. They've partnered with decent, good, and well providers for you. I'm not saying all of them are great, but again, they're bidding just to get on that so they can get in front of you. And if you have any more questions, leave me them down below. You have my information there as well in the description. And that is it for now. Talk to you later. Bye.